You're listening to Hashtag Impact, a podcast about stuff that matters. I am Regina Larco, your host, and I'm thrilled that you're joining us for season 4, where I revisit some of the most inspirational, purpose-driven founders that have crossed my path ever since I started this show around 3 years ago. This week, you hear from the amazing Zania Wong, who is the founder of Jobdo. And, she's been named as Global Innovator. She's won loads of awards, and she will tell us all about what she's been up to and how she scaled her business. You can join us for more content, bonus material we do not publish anywhere else if you head to Hashtag Impact Club. It would be such an honor to have you there. And what is so amazing about this club is that 10% of your membership will also go directly to our season 4 charity beneficiary Kelly support group. They do amazing work empowering youth to reach their full potential. I'm in love with their work and so proud that we could feature some of their stories here on season 4 as well. So now enjoy this week's episode and don't forget to stop by at hashtagimpact.com/club. Today I revisit Zania Wong, founder of Jobdo, an on-demand hiring platform that matches employers with non-permanent workers. Zania is a serial entrepreneur, impact maker, innovator, a finalist for the 2017 Cartier Women's Initiative Award, and the same year she was also named as one of the young leaders shaping Asia's future in the Hong Kong Tatler Generation T. Jobdo has been selected by the Dubai World Expo 2020 as one of the top 100 global innovators. The social impact of her company, increasing the income for the underserved and working poor, makes her company a true business with social impact. Welcome back, Zania. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much, Regina. Me too. It's been a long time.
Yeah. And people are excited in the background as well. I think there's just been an event happening. We're sitting here in your working place here in Wong Chuk Hang.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, things are happening. People are always busy and buzzing in Hong Kong.
Absolutely.
I guess. Yeah.
Despite any time.
Yes, exactly. And, I can't believe actually last time we recorded was all the way back in episode 8. This was one of that was the really early days for Hashtag Impact. And, thank you for coming on the show that time.
No. I remember Regina was like so cute. She's like, oh yeah, I'm starting this project. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, because it wasn't even live then.
Yes. She's like, she's starting this.
Yeah. So you just trusted me that it will actually air at some point. Yeah. Now, look how far we've come.
I know.
I mean, amazing. So, just a very general question. How have you been this last 2 years?
It's been good. A lot has happened. I think last time when we spoke, I was looking at a new country to expand to. And then finally I settled on Myanmar. So now we have our first subsidiary office outside of Hong Kong in Myanmar, which is also our stop to enter Southeast Asia. So in Myanmar, our platform actually is positioned to help their young people, students, or fresh grads to get their first jobs, and to get internship. So if you go to the homepage of the Ministry of Education under job opportunities, you'll see us as the only job portal to help the country. So there's a lot of strategic, but also different types of impacts that we're creating there. We also just piloted a new product in August, so last month. It is a little bit different from the job portal. It's actually it's kind of fintech, financial technology portal, where we help employers stretch their payroll cash flow, but we also help the workers get their pay sooner. So it's like earn a wage access portal.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a little taste of all the amazing innovations. And I want to get more into that, how you're actually doing that and making it all happen. Last time around, when I called you serial entrepreneur, I don't know if you remember that, but you then kind of like corrected me and said, actually a serial crazy person. Yeah. Right now you're running 2 businesses at the same time. But this is before that you have already started other.
I still have my wine business. Yeah. So my passion wine business is still there.
And the passion for entrepreneurship, I guess, right? Yeah. So crazy person, serial crazy person, Thania.
That's fun. Yeah.
What's the craziest thing that you think that happened for you over the past 2 years?
I think making the decision to enter Myanmar is both logical and illogical. The reason is I was exploring a new market, and Indonesia came up on top in terms of economics. But so I went down to Indonesia to see how I feel, like the connections that I can make in a very short time, and then. I think at the end of the day, I decided to pick a country where I was able to connect with the people faster and to build meaningful relationships, and that can drive impact sooner. Even though it's economically, it looks like economic is a much smaller market because Indonesia is the biggest country in Southeast Asia with 200 million people, and Myanmar has 54 million people, which is still a big country, but nothing comparing to Indonesia. So I think that was a more heart-based decision I made. So that's kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. And it is a country where there's still a lot of blackouts. So our office always has multiple times of blackouts occasionally. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So tell us, for the people that haven't had the chance to listen to episode 8, can you tell us a bit more about your platform as well, and what makes it so special, and what has won you all these awards, and what makes it so innovative?
Right. So actually, to start, Jobdo itself is a marketplace that matches employers and workers using AI, and a lot of workers we match would typically be because of either lifestyle or family or whatever reason, cannot take a long-term full-time job. So when they use our platform to get the jobs, they're able to not necessarily go for interviews. So for people who actually have to, like single parents, for example, if they have to take care of the children, it's very difficult for them to go for interviews and go home and wait for the results and then start to go to work. With our platform, they can actually decide that, okay, this morning they find out they have some time this afternoon, they can then go to work in the afternoon. So it's really, really quick. And then also, like, we have a lot of users who are maybe older, more mature, then they're switching from one industry to another. But when they have not decided which industry they want to go into, they can use our platform to kind of taste test different types of jobs that they can actually apply their indirect skill sets in. So it's a way for people to kind of achieve the next step in life, if you may. So that's the marketplace thing. And then so that's the job placement as a factor one in terms of becoming fully sustainable, both like financially and just kind of personally. And then step 2 is what we call the financial sustainability. So we found that some of our users often have cash flow issues between paychecks. So they might get paid because they get paid once a month, and between paychecks they might have to borrow money from outside. So that's why we launched the product called Coupe, which was what I just described last month, where workers can actually get paid sooner. As long as they finish working, they can actually already get paid for the days that they worked. So that's the part 2. And then part 3 which actually all of them comes in a triangle. So to close the triangle, part 3 is the upskilling part. We're now trying to move our workers to more higher skilled, I guess, jobs, so that their market value increases. So kind of looping that, we put job placement, financial assistance, and upskilling all of them into one platform. So that by itself is also quite challenging because we're doing many things at the same time.
Yeah. And I mean, how is your team? How many people do you have?
We have 12 now. 12 people.
Yeah.
But we hire a lot of temp and contract staff.
Using your own platform.
Yeah, using our platform. Yeah. Yeah, we have staff in Malaysia, in of course Myanmar, and we actually have done quite projects throughout Asia, ASEAN, so and Taiwan and China. So we've done. And also many of them are like temp-based projects.
Mm. Yeah. Of course, building a job platform, hiring platform, the biggest challenge, and you brought that up last time we recorded, is always supply and demand. So to really have enough jobs posted for the job seekers and vice versa. And now, of course, I mean, we cannot leave out of sight what is happening in Hong Kong at the moment, and with especially the tourism industry and the hotel industry, or any business really, raising the flag now and saying this impacts our business. How are you then coping with having, I mean, these are circumstances that no one can really, there's nothing to do about it, right?
It's the black swan events. That's what they call it.
Exactly. Yeah. So how do you then, how do you manage?
Well, I guess the good thing is we do have, 2 markets. We're in Hong Kong, but we're also in Southeast Asia. So, we definitely took a hit in Hong Kong, and, so we have, I guess, done a bit more in Southeast Asia recently. But, even for Hong Kong, so our platform is quite flexible in the way that the employers can hire people to show up in person, but employers can also hire people to work remotely from home. So we are also looking at opportunities where we can hire people in Hong Kong to work remotely from overseas employers. So in that case, we try to balance it so then our employers are not just, our clients are not just employers in Hong Kong. Kind of diversify our risk by having multiple types of projects.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And that's what I hear from the other founders that we featured in this season. It's just this a constant flexibility that you must have as an entrepreneur, and just be able to adapt and make it work for you as well. Yeah. And I loved, from the beginning, I have to say, you were one of the first guests I had on the show that really opened my eyes to that impact question. And, I named the podcast #Impact, and I, maybe a little bit naively went into it and thought about, these change makers that are making, doing good in the world, and any contribution counts. But the way you phrased it and how you also actually made this distinction between what is a social entrepreneur and what is a business with impact, and how you, and I'm gonna give you that quote now. Okay. that you said that day that really I kept going back to, so what you said made a really big impact on me, Xenia. And I've been thinking about this a lot, and I just wanted to remind our listeners of that beautiful thing you said. You need to know how to quantify your social impact and be accountable for it. So that's what you said. Mm-hmm. And I just want to know, this was you 2 years ago. Like, what are your biggest learnings that you could share when it comes to quantifying social impact? So that our other, purpose-driven organizations or individuals that are listening right now, how to tackle this often I would say, really tricky impact measurement question.
Yeah, it's actually quite difficult to do it properly. I think I think what we actually really need to do is to understand our users. So for example, I have a job portal. So it's easy to measure impacts by saying, okay, the number of jobs that we created, for example. But if we're actually doing it really, really, really properly, then you will actually understand your users and say, okay, what, aside from getting a job, what kind of changes are you making in their lives? So, for example, before using this platform, they were able to get jobs, but only at these type of wages, or they have to kind of sacrifice taking care of their parents or children because they actually have to spend so much time on the road to look for jobs before. Yeah, like they're like different, not just like the most obvious impact, but also like drilling down what are the more specific changes you can make once they actually are using your platform. So, so obviously you get a job, you get better pay, you get more stable pay, but that money actually goes into upgrading the nutrients, or providing better nutrients for the children, or better empowerment to the user, or better family relationship to I guess the whole, like their parents or the whole family. So all of that, not everything can be quantified, but some of it can be quantified. Okay, so nutrients, for example, possibly you can measure that, right? Harmony, that's difficult to measure, but it's a qualitative one that you also have to write down. But I think the most important thing is actually to really understand the users, how they change before and after.
Mm. Yeah. So you're tracking that with them. Do you then let them fill out forms?
We try.
Do you do qualitative, like, do you do interviews with them as well at times?
Yeah, we do interviews. So we do call, okay, after using, what are the changes that you observed? Or, that's pretty important.
Is there a story you could share with us that stood out for you? Like when you look at your, the people in your community, in your platform where you said, because I started doing this. That's why I'm asking. I'm just curious how other people are doing that, how they are collecting their moments of, I guess, their moments of happiness with, you put so much work in it, and there are these moments when you get some feedback that's really beautiful to hear. So I actually have a folder now on my desktop that I called #impact is making an impact.
Yeah.
Where I'm just, if I get a nice review, or if someone reaches out to me with an email, something that's, private, I couldn't like post this now on social media or so.
Yeah.
But this is just for me, and I'm doing like a screenshot, and I'm like actually collecting that.
That's nice.
Yeah. So how do you collect a moment, or is there a moment you could share with us?
It's actually easier for me to observe and collect impacts in developing markets, so in Myanmar, than in Hong Kong. So we actually have students who are just really grateful of having opportunities to work even as an intern, or as on like a 2-3 day gig, because they've never worked before. They don't know what it's like. So you ask them how they feel about it. It's like, this is really, of course their English is not the best, but there's like, this is really exciting. This is, I really learned a lot. So you kind of hear the feedback, which I don't hear as much anymore in Hong Kong, because I guess it's easier for Hong Kong students to have opportunities to work. Mm-hmm. So I got that a lot from the students that we place in internships and short-term work. And, with the Coupé product, the fintech products, actually 93% of our target users are female, and they often are, and actually we are working with factories for these, this products. So, many of them are, living away from home, and they have to send money back to the family. So now that they can access the pay early, they're able to actually send the money much earlier to the family. So they did like they show that, oh yeah, this is really, really useful because otherwise they would have to go out and borrow money at a high interest rate. And then they feel it's just, you just see that their smile, you see that smile and you see, okay, this is, it really means a big deal to them. Yeah. Cause they have to send money home and and so this is a kind of lighten the load, mental load.
How long?
We take videos of some of our interviews so we can see.
Yeah. How long has it actually taken? I remember you telling me about your plans to go into Myanmar, but actually getting this like collaboration with the Ministry of Education, it was, right?
Yeah.
To I can imagine, like, how do you even get in front of the people that are the decision makers and get and I'm actually going to check that out. I'm going to put the link in the show notes to get your platform there on the Ministry of Education as their partner, right?
Yeah.
And someone who is actually not from there in the first place. I mean, that's really impressive, but I can imagine that's, you say it like, you make it sound so easy, but how difficult was that?
Well, I mean, I think, and I find that like a lot of times when people don't try things, it's because that they're afraid of failing. So, and I actually don't have, I always think, okay, what's the worst that can happen to me? So I usually just cold call. So I cold called one government department, because initially when I tried to contact them directly, I didn't get through. But I reached out to another government department because I met the director at a conference. So I went to, he literally was giving a keynote speech for like 10 minutes and then right away was rushing to leave. So I stopped him at the door and just said, okay, I'm doing a few businesses. I'm looking to do a few businesses in Myanmar. Can I set up a meeting with you? And he's the PR person in a way, right? So of course he's like, yeah, contact me. So I emailed him, but at first he didn't reply, but I think I found another channel of contact. Eventually I got a meeting with him. So after the meeting, then I told him, oh, these are the ministries that potentially we can see some synergy. Can you arrange the meetings? So anyway, after a while, a few more channels, and finally we got to meet them. But I think if I did not stop the minister while he was leaving the venue with his entourage, actually there were a few of them, that whole thing wouldn't have happened. Yeah. So just don't be afraid if you need to talk to somebody, either stop them where they are, just finish working or talking, or
just interrupt them, just, jump in the elevator with them, stop the door, stop it.
And do it in under 10 seconds. Give your elevator pitch in 10 seconds. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I really look up to you. I think there's a lot we can learn from that. Like what's there to lose? You just have to try. And then if you see that opportunity, I think there is a lot lost when you just don't go up to a person. You don't raise your hand. You don't go sit in the front row and make sure that they notice you. I think that's something that is where I can learn from you as well. What I also want to learn, of course, and we touched upon that last time as well, is something that came up quite often now in season 4 when I'm talking to the Impact founders and looking at that founder journey, that it's one that is, of course, also emotionally challenging at times. And I've really admired that, how open you were last time when we recorded, and you shared that this has impacted your personal relationships as well. And that that you learned a lot about yourself actually as true. Well.
Still learning.
Has there been any new learning or something where you feel like you've gotten better at balancing this, or wearing your CEO hat, but then actually also leaving this at home, or leaving work at work and then switching off in the weekend with your family and partner?
I think it depends on the day. Let me think. Well, I mean, I think now I have a bigger team. I try to put more process in place. So then there are fewer surprises to me. So in that sense, kind of day to day, there's not as much. I mean, there's still a lot of stress, but at least there are a lot of things you can anticipate. You're better able to anticipate this stress. When there are bigger problems, which cannot be solved by just changing processes or having someone else to handle it, then it will still. I mean, I think I can never fully separate them. The emotion is still there. And usually at that point, I just try to go out and go for a run. And, I actually don't, I don't want to talk so much about it with my partner. If I'm upset, I just go out by myself for good. But it does affect the mood. So if I would be in no mood to hang out. Yeah. So I think the smaller things don't stress me out as much because I have a better process in place. But the bigger thing is still challenging. Yeah.
So going for a run is maybe a good tip for other people. Like
cooking also helps actually.
Yeah, cooking or listening to some awesome podcasts.
Of course, yeah.
that always helps. Yeah. I think I think for all of the founders I spoke with this season, it's a balance act that they day by day. I mean, you said it. One day it works better. One day it doesn't work better. And, I mean, you have your partner so close, as you mentioned to me before. So can we give that away now? That maybe for you it's even more challenging to separate.
That's why I don't want to talk to him, because we get into a bigger fight.
I was just wondering. That's probably a challenge as well.
Yeah. This came out by accident when I was doing an Apple Daily interview. That's why. Otherwise, I don't tell anyone. But it was in the press already. So my current CTO is actually my boyfriend. So that's challenging on its own. I mean, it's good and bad. Good is like, there's somebody you trust. And that person will have your back. But then both of us are very stubborn. He's also an ex-entrepreneur, so he has his own way of thinking. So we get into fights quite a bit at work. And so if we talk about work during off hours, then we will also get into a fight. Yeah. So that's been challenging. In life, we actually don't fight so much, but at work we fight a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so then really better to keep that at the office.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, you have to put like kind of strict guidelines. Like sometimes you accidentally get into the work matters, and then you're like, at the end of the day, at the end of a Saturday night. Yeah.
Looking ahead for JobDaw, I mean, there are exciting things ahead now. Looking at the World Exhibition, and I understand this is already. You're traveling to Dubai often.
Once a year, they have a summit where you get to meet other entrepreneurs who are selected, so you know what's going on, what's the new innovation and impact that people are creating. Yeah. It's really, really inspiring. Actually, we also got this is most of the awards have been given because of JobDaw, but now we also competing. We got selected by MIT on the Innovation Challenge on the new fintech platform, and that's in Taiwan in October.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there are too many to name, all the awards and all that. It's like, it feels.
That one we're like regional finalists, not yet one, but
only a regional finalist, like no big deal. No, but, looking ahead for these, is there something that you have on your, kind of like bucket list for your business? Like, what would you, in 5 years from now, what is something that you really want to have achieved with JobDaw?
Yeah. I think the ecosystem I mentioned earlier, where you have, basically a platform where you give jobs, you help with providing financial services or financial knowledge, and also upskilling, like constantly getting better. If we can do all three of them well, that would be really amazing. I think the upskilling especially is important. There's because we're looking at doing a more digital training, so we're not going to be the people who teach, but we'll probably work with content providers to train our users, so they are much more employable in the future. Because the World Economic Forum recently did a survey and recognized that a lot of these, especially ASEAN youths, they actually are not well prepared for the future. And of course, my platform is also using AI, so I also get asked, okay, well, actually, with AI robotics, many jobs will be replaced by machines. What can you do about it? And the only thing people can avoid that or slow down from that happening is they have to upgrade themselves. So that's why we are trying to build this ecosystem so that you're not just sustainable, your life is not just sustainable in a short time, but you will kind of you make sure that you will always be sustainable. More than sustainable, but of course, but at least sustainable. So so if like in 5 years time people look at this and see, okay, this is it's the Chopto ecosystem, rather than just Chopto marketplace, or that would be pretty awesome.
I know that you will make this happen.
Thank you.
I have no doubt.
Yeah.
And we'll do another recording then to check in. But of course, I won't let you go until you go through the legendary #Impact quickfire round with me. Are you ready?
Sure.
Xenia, making an impact means
creating a special experience and moments in the user's life.
What I wish I knew when I was 20.
That's hard. Do more programming. Do more computer programming.
That's a good one. That's a skill that we all need. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, me too. What is one thing everyone could do right now after they listen to this episode to make the world a better place?
Go to your place by yourself and think about what's your purpose in life, and see what kind of legacy you want to leave when you leave the earth. Yeah,
I love that one.
So this one is really, it's close to my heart, actually. This one. Yeah.
And it's actually, it can be just that, can be that simple to be mindful and say, I mean, the answer is not simple, but to the act to do that.
Yeah. Being conscious and self-aware actually makes a big difference in what you will do going forward. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for this today, Xenia.
No problem.
I'd love to send people to your platform if they want to learn more or get in touch. Where should they go?
Sure. It's at www.jobdoh.com, Chopto.com. Thank you.
Yeah, so check that out. And of course, also join us at #Impact Club if you want to get some more insights from Xenia when we are discussing something a little bit more off the record.
Yep. Join now.
Do it now. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Xenia.
No problem.
Thanks so much for joining us this week. If you want to hear what Xenia's advice is for all founders out there, which would be the first step when they are looking into scaling their business, not just scaling it, when they look at starting it and making it, just getting it off the ground and making it work. She will share really, really great insights. I learned so much over at #Impact Club. So please make sure to check it out. Head over to #impact.com/club to access our bonus content. Thanks so much for joining us today. And if you haven't yet, please make sure to subscribe to our channel on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss the next episode. Talk to you soon. Bye.